Welcome to an exciting journey into the anatomy of flowering plants. Today, we are dissecting the internal structures of roots, stems, and leaves in both dicots and monocots. This topic is fundamental for NEET biology, offering crucial insights into how plants function. We'll explore this fascinating subject through 4 levels: easy, medium, hard, and hardest, ensuring a comprehensive understanding from basic identification to competitive analysis. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the foundational differences? Our easy level will introduce you to the basic internal architecture of dicot and monocot roots, stems, and leaves. Let's quickly grasp the core concepts. Plants, like all living organisms, are built from specialized tissues. These tissues are organized into 3 main systems: the dermal tissue for protection, the ground tissue for bulk and various functions, and the vascular tissue for transport. You can think of the dermal system as the plant's skin, the ground tissue as its body, and the vascular tissue as its circulatory system. Understanding these systems is the first step to appreciating plant anatomy. We'll now apply this basic framework to differentiate between dicot and monocot roots, stems, and leaves. Now, let's look at the key differences in roots, stems, and leaves. Dicot roots typically have a small pith and 2 to 6 xylem bundles, allowing for secondary growth. Monocot roots, in contrast, boast a large pith and more than 6 xylem bundles, but no secondary growth. Moving to stems, dicots arrange their vascular bundles in a ring with a cambium for thickening, while monocots have scattered, closed bundles without cambium. Finally, dicot leaves are dorsiventral with distinct palisade and spongy layers, whereas monocot leaves are isobilateral with undifferentiated mesophyll and unique bulliform cells. These distinctions are crucial for identifying plant types. Time to test your understanding. Here are 3 practice questions to reinforce the easy level concepts. Take a moment to read each question carefully and choose the best answer. This will help solidify your grasp of the fundamental anatomical differences we just discussed. Let's deepen our knowledge. The medium level will guide you through more detailed explanations of tissue arrangements and their specific functions in dicot and monocot plants. At the medium level, we delve into the detailed anatomy, starting with roots. Both dicot and monocot roots share an epidermis and cortex. However, the endodermis, with its unique Casparian strips, plays a critical role in regulating water movement into the vascular cylinder, being particularly prominent in dicots. The pericycle, located just inside the endodermis, is vital for lateral root formation in both, and also initiates secondary growth in dicots. A key distinction lies in the vascular bundles. Dicot roots typically have fewer xylem bundles and a small or absent pith, while monocot roots are polyarch, meaning they have many xylem bundles surrounding a large, well-developed pith. These differences highlight specialized adaptations for water and nutrient uptake. Now, let's explore the stems. The epidermis provides protection, and beneath it, the hypodermis varies significantly: cholenchymatous in dicots for flexible support, and sclerenchymatous in monocots for rigid strength. Dicot stems show a clear differentiation into cortex, endodermis, starch sheath, and pith, with vascular bundles arranged in an open ring, allowing for secondary growth. In contrast, monocot stems have scattered, closed vascular bundles embedded in an undifferentiated ground tissue, lacking a distinct pith. This fundamental difference in vascular bundle arrangement and the presence or absence of cambium is central to understanding their growth patterns. Moving to leaves, the epidermal layers, covered by a cuticle, regulate gas exchange through stomata. In dicot leaves, the mesophyll is differentiated into palisade parenchyma for efficient light capture and spongy parenchyma with air spaces for gas exchange. This dorsiventral arrangement is optimized for photosynthesis. Monocot leaves, however, are isobilateral with undifferentiated mesophyll, meaning all cells are similar. A unique feature of monocot leaves is the presence of bulliform cells on the upper epidermis. These large, empty cells help in leaf rolling during water stress, a crucial adaptation for survival in challenging environments. Great work so far. Now, challenge yourself with 5 practice questions designed to test your understanding of the detailed anatomical features and their functions at the medium level. Think critically about the specific roles of each tissue and cell type. Ready to elevate your expertise? The hard level will challenge you with comparative analysis, delving into the adaptive significance of anatomical differences and connecting structures to broader plant theories. At the hard level, we analyze the why behind the differences. Consider the roots. The polyak condition in monocots, with numerous xylem bundles, is an adaptation for rapid water absorption, supporting their extensive fibrous root systems. In dicots, the pericycle's ability to become meristematic for secondary growth is a key evolutionary advantage, allowing for increased girth and longevity. For stems, the collenchymatous hypodermis in dicots offers flexible support, crucial for young, growing stems, while the sclerenchymatous hypodermis in monocots provides rigid strength for their often unbranched, robust structures. These adaptations reflect different growth strategies and ecological niches, highlighting how internal structure directly supports external form and function. Let's continue our comparative analysis, focusing on the leaves and the overall tissue systems. The distinct palisade and spongy parenchyma in dicot leaves represent a highly efficient design for photosynthesis, maximizing light capture and gas exchange. Monocot leaves, with their undifferentiated mesophyll and often vertical orientation, are adapted for similar light exposure on both sides. The bulliform cells in monocots are a clever mechanism for water conservation, allowing leaves to roll inwards and reduce transpiration during stress. Overall, the organized continuity of dermal, ground, and vascular tissue systems from root to leaf ensures efficient resource transport, mechanical support, and protection, showcasing the remarkable integration of plant anatomy. Now, let's connect these anatomical insights to broader theoretical concepts. The presence or absence of cambium, for instance, isn't just a structural difference, it's a fundamental evolutionary divergence that dictates a plant's growth potential and ecological role. Dicot secondary growth, leading to wood formation, allows for the development of tall, long-lived trees that dominate many terrestrial ecosystems. Monocots, lacking this, often adopt herbaceous or rhizomatous growth forms, thriving in different niches. This interplay between internal structure, growth patterns, and environmental adaptations underscores the elegance of plant evolution and morphology. Understanding these connections is key to mastering plant biology. It's time for a deeper challenge. These 7 practice questions will test your analytical skills and your ability to connect anatomical features to their functional and adaptive significance. Good luck, and think critically. Are you ready for the ultimate challenge? The hardest level will push your understanding to competitive depths, exploring developmental insights, advanced adaptations, and even engineering principles within plant anatomy. At the hardest level, we begin with the developmental origins. All primary tissues arise from apical meristems, which differentiate into protoderm, ground meristem, and procambium. This foundational understanding explains why monocots typically lack secondary growth. Their procambium fully differentiates into primary vascular tissues without leaving residual meristematic cells to form a complete cambium ring. This early developmental choice has profound implications for a plant's growth and lifespan. We'll also examine the intricate mechanism of secondary growth in dicots, where vascular cambium and cork cambium work in tandem to increase girth and form protective layers. This continuous growth, allowing for the formation of annual rings and distinct heartwood and sapwood, is a hallmark of woody dicots, influencing their ecological dominance and economic value. Let's dive deeper into specialized structures and engineering principles. Beyond basic tissues, plants possess unique cells like idioblasts, which store crystals or waste, and laticifers, which produce latex for defense and healing. Secretory ducts also play vital roles in producing protective compounds. These specialized structures highlight the diverse strategies plants employ for survival. From an engineering perspective, consider water transport. Xylem vessel diameter significantly impacts flow rate following Poiseuille's law. Dicot wood, with its varied vessel elements, achieves high transport efficiency but is more vulnerable to cavitation. Monocoats, with smaller, more numerous bundles, prioritize safety over peak flow. Similarly, the arrangement of fibers and vessels in dicot would provide immense mechanical strength, allowing trees to reach impressive heights. Monocoat structures, like the sclerenchymatous hypodermis, offer resilience and flexibility, crucial for plants like grasses in windy environments. These design choices reflect optimal solutions for specific environmental challenges. Now, let's explore some remarkable biological specializations. Kranz anatomy, a hallmark of C4 plants, predominantly monocoats like MAJ, is a sophisticated adaptation for efficient photosynthesis in hot, dry climates. This intricate arrangement spatially separates initial carbon fixation from the Calvin cycle, minimizing photorespiration and maximizing energy conversion. Furthermore, plants exhibit diverse anatomical modifications in their roots, stems, and leaves to adapt to specific ecological niches. Roots can be modified for storage, support, or even respiration, each with distinct internal features. Stems transform into rhizomes, tubers, or bulbs for perennation and storage. Leaves evolve into tendrils, spines, or even insectivorous traps, showcasing incredible anatomical plasticity. These modifications are not merely external changes, they involve profound internal restructuring to meet specific environmental demands, demonstrating the remarkable adaptability of flowering plants. Finally, let's consider the legacy and impact of these anatomical insights. Understanding plant anatomy is crucial not only for academic knowledge but also for applied fields like agriculture, forestry, and pharmacology. For instance, knowledge of wood anatomy is vital for timber production and material science. The study of root system architecture informs sustainable irrigation and soil conservation. Furthermore, the evolutionary success of flowering plants, with their incredible diversity, is deeply rooted in these anatomical adaptations. From the towering strength of a dicot tree to the resilience of a monocoat grass, the internal structure of these plants dictates their role in ecosystems and their capacity to sustain life on Earth. This journey into plant anatomy reveals the intricate beauty and functional elegance of the plant kingdom. Challenge yourself with the first set of 5 toughest questions. These require deep analytical thinking and integration of concepts from developmental biology, functional adaptations, and engineering principles. Take your time and apply all you've learned. Here are the final 5 questions to truly test your mastery of plant anatomy at the hardest level. These questions demand a comprehensive understanding and the ability to synthesize information across different sections of the topic. Good luck! Congratulations on completing this in-depth exploration of the anatomy of flowering plants. We've journeyed from basic tissue identification to advanced competitive analysis, covering dicot and monocoat roots, stems, and leaves. Your dedication to understanding these intricate structures is commendable. For more such comprehensive educational content, practice questions, and expert guidance, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for continuous learning and updates. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing with us. See you in the next session.